I was sort of planning to just go to bed. The hockey game was over. I was watching the Sox game on the other TV. Fetty was pitching great. And I'm like, all right, it's the eighth inning. And then when Kopech was slip sliding away and the lead was slip sliding away, I was like oddly curious. I'm like, is this going to happen? Are they going to blow it? Not that it matters. What does it matter? Their 50th loss. It doesn't matter. But I was like, let's just see. I was oddly curious.
See. You wanted to see.
I just kind of, I wanted to see.
You wanted to see.
And sure enough, it was gone in the eighth. And then the ninth happened.
One pitch? No, not one pitch. I mean, the bases were bagged. But he knew it. The pitcher knew it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he knew it.
What was his name?
Jordan Leisure.
Leisure, yes.
So Kopech and Leisure go 1 1/3 innings, 7 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, a hit batter. I'll repeat that. This is the bullpen. You turn it over to the bullpen. 1 1/3, 6 hits, 3 walks, a hit batter, and 7, count them, 7 earned runs, Jurko. And they have lost their 50th game. It is June 11th. And they've lost 50 games, and they did it in epic fashion. And poor Garrett Crochet at times has deserved better. He got a win the other night. Eric Fetty has certainly deserved better. But this is just, they're finding epic ways to lose. And I stayed up just out of curiosity. I'm like, let's see if this is actually, they're gonna do this, aren't they? They're gonna blow this after Eric Fetty gave them 7+ really strong innings. Maybe it was a quick hook. He gave up a home run to Dom Canzone. Boy, it's a great name, isn't it? Dom Canzone.
Yeah.
That's got to be a Paisan. Isn't that a good name?
You'd have to think.
You got Dom
It
Canzone.
was probably Cam Zanelli at some point or another.
I don't know.
Cam Zanetti, something like that, Carm.
It's just a great name, Dom Canzone. He hits one off of Fetty, and that was enough for the White Sox. That was enough for Pedro Grifol. It was only 93 pitches for Fetty. Apparently, he said he still felt strong. He could have kept going. The lineup was about to turn over, I guess,
another
for a fourth time, and so they were like, "Well, let's get him out of here." And it was just epic fail.
Well,
that's the story of the White Sox season.
Yeah, I mean, there you go.
But are you shocked that I was still up for it?
I am a little bit shocked that you were
Any
still
White
up
Sox
for it.
fans still up for it on the West Coast?
And can we face it? This team is a trending 250 team, right?
Yes.
They're going to win 25% of their ball games.
That's
when
correct.
they're at 27-51, they'll be there.
That's correct.
Welcome back to exactly what your level is. And now you've got the rest of the season there waiting for you. So, congratulations.
Tonight, I'm excited to watch Drew Thorpe, if you can believe it. I will watch some of that. I don't know that I'll watch.
Drew Thorpe.
So you've been gone golfing.
Drew Thorpe.
Well,
I know they went twice over the weekend.
No, I know. Drew Thorpe has been called up. Did you know that?
And wonderful. Drew Thorpe is up. And what is Drew Thorpe? Carm, is he a baseball player?
Yeah. No. He's a bus driver. Yeah, he's a baseball player.
What position is
He's
he
a
play?
pitcher. He has been called up to start tonight. Drew Thorpe was
mid-90s,
the centerpiece in the deal that got Juan Soto to the Padres, and then the centerpiece that got Dylan Cease to the Padres. I'm sorry. He was the centerpiece that got Juan Soto to the Yankees, Jurko. The Yankees traded Drew Thorpe to the Padres.
Right.
And when did that deal happen? December, whenever it happened. And then the Padres subsequently had to send him, very good prospect, but had to send him in the Dylan Cease trade. He's dominated Double-A this year.
Has he already?
Dominated.
And we like to think that Double-A is better than Triple-A, right?
Usually is.
Double-A are the guys that are going to eventually get to the pros. Triple-A is kind of where you go to die in your minor league career.
Kind of.
Isn't that right?
Certainly the pitching's usually better at Double-A. He was dominating at Double-A.
So there's
he
good
skipped
things.
Triple-A, and he will be coming up to start
There's
tonight.
good things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's good things ahead for the White Sox with this character.
Well, I don't know. I hope.
Drew Thorpe character. Is that his name?
Drew Thorpe.
Drew Thorpe.
Drew
not
Thorpe. Not Tharp.
All right. So good times ahead. You're going to watch Drew Thorpe tonight.
I will.
You might motivate me, Carm. You might motivate me to watch a little White Sox baseball.
Look, it's a late game. It's another 8 o'clock pregame, which means you get Black and Abdallah again tonight, which is great, grand, glorious, wonderful. 6:30 to 8, Chris and Adam will be on into White Sox baseball. It's a late game, so you can, if you've got nothing else to do. I mean, come on, White Sox fans. What else do we have to do? Might as well look forward. It's an 8:40 first pitch our time. Might as well look forward to Drew Thorpe starting tonight, making his big league debut. I want to play something from last night. This was Ozzie Guillen with our Pat McGann. Pat's a very funny guy. This is like the White Sox after dark thing they do, kind of like what Black and Abdallah do. This is Ozzy. And, you know, after the game, Pedro had said he didn't want, it's the dirty anything again, you know? The dirty anything, man, I vented on this here recently. It's probably, there's a little bit of old man shouting at the clouds with this. We all have something, right? We all have something. Some of us maybe have multiple things where, you know, we do the whole back in my day. But I have few things at this point ruffle my feathers as much as this new trend in baseball where a big league manager feels like he can never go to a relief pitcher in the middle of an inning, or even a relief pitcher feeling like he can never be summoned in the middle of an inning. It is literally the definition of the word. I don't know how long this is going to stick. If this is like if this is a comet, Jurko, passing in the night, you know, you'll see it for a couple nights and then it'll be gone. I don't know, but it's, again, maybe I'm guilty of you're being an old man who's not catching up with the times. We are all guilty of certain things in sports as they've changed, where we kind of, what's the term, Jurk? What's the term I'm looking for? Like, not hold on to the past.
Hold on to the past, not hold on to the past.
There's a different term I'm looking for, but that's okay. You know, I think it's insanity that a manager is never expected anymore to go to a relief pitcher
in the middle
of a problematic situation late in the game, or a
Two
relief
runners out,
pitcher
no
simply
outs.
refusing to do it.
You're trying
like
to get on there. Maybe somebody booted the ball. Now you got yourself an error, and now you want to go ahead and get a fresh guy in there.
And so Pedro described the situation last night.
An old baseball axiom that doesn't need to stick around.
He described it last night as an instance where he did not want to turn a dirty inning over to Michael Kopech. That's why he went to him after the home run. There was nobody on base. 1 run was on the board. It went from 4-0 to 4-1. 93 pitches. Fetty maybe could have kept going. He said he could have. Pedro decided to yank him, and this was Ozzy post-game talking about Pedro's decision and the rationalization of turning things over clean to Michael Kopech. A lot of good it did.
That's why I talk about Pedro. I never second-guess Pedro about what he does on the field. But the one thing it got me very bad is when he's talking and think people is not there. They don't know anything about baseball. We're just like, yeah, you're right. No, you're not.
Right.
You're not right. I'm sorry. 99% of the Pedro say, you know, it's not right. Sorry, he's not.
It's Major League Baseball.
Yes.
You got to come into a game with maybe a guy on base.
That might happen.
Traffic. Sorry about all the traffic. I wanted you to come out here with no one out.
Did Ozzy say 99% of what Pedro says is wrong?
90% of what Pedro says.
99% of what Pedro says
is wrong.
That's a great line from Ozzy. It's a great line. There are no redeeming qualities about Pedro Grifol. You know, the bullpen management, the decision making. You know, he's not. And I wasn't even watching Sunday. I know it drew the ire of a lot of Sox fans. Believe it or not, people still get upset even with 50 losses. You know, he's not pinch hitting Maldonado in the 6th. And there was like some cockamamie explanation afterwards. First of all, Martin Maldonado, at this point, like, what are we doing? Like, seriously. What are you doing?
He's the future.
Carrying Martin Maldonado.
He's the future,
the
Carm.
future. He's 40. What are you doing?
38. He's 38.
38. Okay. What are they doing carrying him on the roster? And then to have some sort of rationalization about, well, we still had a lot of game left and what he does defensively behind the plate. You're talking about a player whose on-base percentage at this point is 124. On-base percentage, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you hear the term sometimes, the guy can't hit his weight. He doesn't have an on-base percentage that's his way. He doesn't have the on-base percentage that is equivalent to the weight of a 13-year-old. And they're making cockamamie explanations for why, and my computer froze here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get his defensive metrics. Because even those aren't good.
Yeah.
Even his defensive metrics at this point aren't good.
Unfreeze it, Carm.
They're making some sort of rationalization about like why it's important for him. There's nothing important about Martin Maldonado. Nothing. That the White Sox are even carrying him is insanity.
Who's the young kid?
Corey Lee. And he's played more, but like at this point, like bring Caro up. Let he and Corey Lee play. Find somebody else. Find anybody. Find anybody. Like, find find a kid in Bridgeport who played in college that was a catcher, and he's like 26, and he's like, yeah, my knees are still good. Like, I'll go.
Anybody.
Like, literally find anybody other than Martin Maldonado.
Anybody.
And, like, he's making excuses about why he's not pinch hitting Martin Maldonado. So maybe that's what Ozzie means, that 99% of the things he says is wrong. His bullpen decisions, granted, that's a lousy bullpen. They're often wrong as well. And this general feeling around baseball at this point about the relievers and when you can and cannot bring them in, it's insufferable to listen to.
You're frustrated.
And
you're very frustrated. I mean, at this point in the year, in the season, with 50 victories on the board, you are
50 victories.
Yeah, 50 losses.
I wish.
I apologize. 50 losses.
What, are you teasing me?
17 and 50 with 50 losses on the board. You're saying bring in the kids. Not
Well,
bring in the clowns, bring in the kids.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, why wouldn't you? That's why Thorpe is up. I would
is that
imagine.
what you want? You want the kids. You want more and more children to be up
I would
there.
imagine more and more.
Give me some of the minor league system, what might be the future.
That any White Sox fan at any point, if you are, for whatever reason, going to watch an inning or listen to Len and DJ and listen to an inning, to hear Martin Maldonado's name at this point is, help me, White Sox fans.
You're in
What is
sale mode, right? Not Chris Sale mode. You're in sale mode. You're willing to sell. You're selling whatever you have. You know it's all going to be low, but you are selling.
Bob Nightingale reported over the weekend, Yerk, in like just his notes section of his column in the USA Today, that pretty much everybody is for sale. He doesn't think at this point Crochet will go. He thinks Robert might, but he wrote that the price for Robert, what the White Sox are going to be asking for, is going to be a greater prospect package than what the Yankees had to give up for Soto. Now, before you go, like, how could that be? How could they? Like, obviously, Juan Soto's better, and he's played in many more games than Luis Robert.
Yes.
Juan Soto might be one of the 4 best players in the game.
Yes.
Robert's very good, but I think what the basis of that is...
Nothing's available.
Well, it's the fact that Juan Soto's a free agent at the end of the year. Luis Robert, do you realize still after this year has 3 more years of control?
I did not know
There's
that.
a ton of control in what should be productive years if he could stay healthy. Now, that might ultimately lower the prospect return because he's never really proven he can stay healthy for any significant amount of time. But Nightingale's saying that the prospect package the Sox are going to ask for is going to be greater than what the Yankees had to give up to get Soto.
West Coast team, team in the South. Somebody that maybe
what about
lost
a team
to
like
Acuna.
What about a team like Atlanta?
Yeah.
Like, because you just said it.
What do you
Look at
think?
you knowing they lost to Acuna.
Yeah, what? ACL.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, lost for the season, Carm.
That's a great call. Like,
Second time in 4 years. What do you think? I just golf and sleep? I don't pay attention.
I'm impressed.
Either way, but there's a team like Atlanta.
Yes.
Better to get the deal done now than later, baby.
A team like
What else?
what about a team like Seattle? You telling me a team like Seattle couldn't use Luis Robert if he could stay healthy?
Well, I'm sure they could.
I bet.
Does anybody want Eloy?
No,
No.
I doubt it.
He's garbage.
I doubt it. Yeah, that's damaged goods.
That has become an absolute victory for the Chicago Cubs in that trade.
How'd you like to put Luis Robert in
Absolute
a corner
victory.
next to maybe it's like crazy because they've got their center fielder, but I'm just saying, what if you're like, yeah, we'll throw him in a corner for the next 3 years, maybe limit some of the wear and tear on his body, let Julio play center. Luke, how'd you like that outfield? Julio Rodriguez and Luis Robert in a corner. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Like when you say who are the teams that could use him if he's healthy, who are the teams that could use another outfielder that could hit home runs and still play a pretty high level of defense, maybe even better suited in a corner at this point with some of the injuries that he's had to his legs and his hip? Like, so I don't know if you come to mind, but yeah, when you say they're in sell mode, they truly are. And so, you know, this team is a national story based on how bad they are. The White Sox are rarely a national story. They're rarely a local story. They're almost never a national story. It's just taken like a comically bad season and things to go terribly wrong. And I get a kick out of Ozzie saying 99% of what Pedro says is wrong. 312-332-3776 if you have any baseball thoughts. Someone asked yesterday about the Cubs and Vlad Guerrero. Nightingale also wrote in his notes that like the Cubs privately have discussed Guerrero. I'm still not sure the Blue Jays are going to get there because he's got another year of control, although, you know, they're 32 and 34. And in that division and with that wild card race, doesn't feel like they're in it at all. So who knows if negotiations continue to go nowhere, maybe he could become available. And Nightingale wrote that the Cubs are one of the teams that's had some internal private discussions about maybe going after him. You can ring us up again at 312-332-3776. The good kid's back. We got a lot today. We'll do the list later. We got the lunch rush. Yurko's got a great Who's the Douche that he's going to bring to the table a little bit later on. It's Carmen and Jurko. We'll be right